This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction to the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction after every single game. My name is Jonathan Shields. Make sure you guys go follow me on Twitter at Johnny10Shields. And yeah, guys, just another gut punch. And this loss is what it is. I still think about the loss yesterday. If the Rays season continues to spiral like it is, that loss yesterday, along with 10 other ones, is going to be circled in red Sharpie. And ones is like, man, that's a missed opportunity. But a lot to break down from this game itself. First, there's a lot to talk about. Those first 2 bullet points. Second, which is not responding to another team's score, is huge problem I've had with the Rays during this whole streak. 8 walks, 4 to the 9-hole hitter. I mean, yeah, not much has to be said. It's hard to be positive right now, but we're going to look at things to be positive about, and we're going to look ahead to the game tomorrow. But first, I got to talk about Joe Boyle.
This is what you'll be talking about.
So this was the Joe Boyle that was in with the A's last year. It was this Joe Boyle. So Joe Boyle tonight, 3 1/3, still struck out 5. His fastball got up to 102, which was insane. But 5 walks in a game this year is by far his most in the game this year. And he did it in 3 1/3 innings. And you can just tell off rip he just wasn't comfortable there. And it was tough. It was tough. A game the Rays needed. That they had the pitching advantage with Joe Boyle, and he just couldn't get it done. And when you fall behind hitters like the Rays do, not like all the Rays do, but like what has been kind of frequent during this stretch, you have to throw them strikes. And when you throw Julio Rodriguez 99 right down the middle after he saw it before, and then saw that 100 down the middle was the pitch 9 out of the last 10 pitches, he's going to sit on it and he's going to send it 436 feet. But the reason it got to that is because Joe Boyle continued to fall behind every single hitter. And I get it's like his trend to struggle in the first inning. That's not good enough. And he's kind of skated by, not just skated by, he's been dominant at times. And that's what the Rays see in him, and that's what he can be. I'm still incredibly high on Joe Boyle. But these walks problems, and he had 3 against the Yankees, which is another rough start. But 5 walks and 3 1/3 is unacceptable, even if it's kind of an outlier thing. It just can't happen. Not in a game of this magnitude. And the Rays can't have 8 walks as a team. They had 8 walks and still lost by 3 runs. I mean, that is 8 free passes. The Rays had 8 walks, they gave up 8 walks. I believe the Rays only walked twice. The Rays walked 4 times, so a lot of walks. In this game, Yandy had 2 of them. But after Brandon Lowe hit the home run, we're going to get to our turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
It's Rodriguez home run. And why was Randy on base? Because of a walk. And again, you get behind, you have to throw fastball. These guys are the best hitters in the world. The Mariners are one of the hottest 2 teams in baseball right now. They're going to connect, especially on an Ichiro day, the juice in that building. And they connected, sent it 436 feet. He had 2 of them. And then double on his Cal Raleigh's 3-run home run. Same thing. You've been starting off with fastballs. So fastball's the thing that you trust right now. These guys, again, are the best hitters in the world, not just the Mariners. The MLB in general, best hitters in the world. And, the Rays could do some of them. They have freaking minor league guys hitting. And what else do you expect? Another 3-run homer from Cal Raleigh is 5-1. And right there, you kind of knew it was over. It's the same thing as last time. Brandon Lowe and a Junior Caminero home run. They're the only 2 that's doing anything. When you look at this Rays lineup, Yandy Diaz, you fear. Brandon Lowe, you fear. No one fears Josh Lowe right now. You fear Junior. No one fears Chandler Simpson. No one fears Hunter Fiducia, who I think has been putting together really quality at bats. And I actually disagree with pinch hitting Morale to save Morale for a little bit later. You kind of fear Kim, not really. And you throw down the middle every single pitch to Tristan Peters and Tristan Gray. You don't fear them at all. Them 2 should never be in this lineup together, ever. And I understand Taylor Walls was supposed to play today, and that's why Tristan Gray played. But, Tristan Peters' story, it's cool. He had 280-something in the minors. Costa Rays are running the field, and he can't hit in 2 games. I understand that's incredibly unfair to judge a guy off 2 games, but the Rays need immediate results right now. They don't need a cute story that's going to hit 9th and play average to below average defense in center field. They don't need that. They need guys that can hit, and they don't have enough guys that you hit. When you only really have to pitch to 3 guys in the lineup right now, it's not good enough. And, there's 3 or 4 major things the Rays can do this offseason, and they might have to find 2 outfielders, at least one. They need to figure out center field, whether it's giving John DeLuca more leash, Chandler training more there, but the center field defense has been not very good besides a good 3 weeks from Cameron Meisner back in, like, May. Again, I don't think I think the Rays thoroughly got outplayed in this one. It wasn't like yesterday when it felt like they stole it or the Mariners stole it. And with that being said, the Rays have 2 very winnable series left on this road trip. Like I am still confident in the Rays going on some sort of run, winning 7 out of 10, right? But that time's starting to run out. 5.5 back in a wild card. You're 4 games under 500. You're facing an all-star and the Mariners' best pitcher tomorrow. And again, the Mariners series was one of the toughest they had. I was talking to a few of my buddies today. I would pick the Mariners to go to the World Series of the American League right now. Like, that's how high I am on the Mariners. The Mariners, before they made the trades at the deadline, I was that high on them. And then making the 2 trades for Naylor and Suarez just kind of reaffirmed that belief. And, you're playing with fire anytime you walk that many guys. And when you play with fire like that, you're going to get burned. And the Rays didn't just get burned. They got absolutely scorched. Absolutely scorched. But, we still got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the thing that has bugged me more than anything during this road trip, and we're going to look at some positives from all this right after this. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. We've all been there, logging on early and waiting forever for concert tickets to go on sale, only to lose your spot for a show you've been dying to see. Live music should be about making memories, not dealing with the stress of ticket shopping. That's where Game Time comes in. Game Time makes getting concert tickets faster and easier than ever. Prices actually drop as it gets closer to showtime. And you can save up to 60% off with their killer last-minute deals. You guys know I was in Anaheim. Seattle is another one that's big on my bucket list to go. Their ballpark looks beautiful. But again, I got all those tickets with Game Time. Shows your seat view is the best ticket site for right now. Take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets or ball game tickets with the Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. This episode is also brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason already heating up, and college football isn't far behind. It's the perfect time to lock in your season-long, more or less picks for the 2025 football season, all before Week 1 kicks off. Whether you've got your eye on a big-name quarterback or breakout running backs, PrizePicks makes it easy to get in the game. The Bucs won their preseason game today. If you guys are already sick of the Rays, Bucs right around the corner. You can bet Baker Mayfield to go over on touchdowns, anything like that with PrizePicks. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks. Run your game. So if you guys are in the live, make sure you leave a like. Our live yesterday got the most views a live has ever gotten, even before I was here. So again, thank you guys, everyone who watched, and everyone that continues to join the live. I appreciate all you guys. I know it's almost 1 a.m., but we're still in here strong. Very much appreciate all of you. So the thing that's bugged me, and I've talked about this a few times, when the other teams score, the Rays' response has been poor, to say the very least. It's been really bad. When the Rays scores, it feels like the other teams respond right away. Case in point, first inning, Brandon Lowe homers. All of a sudden, Mariners get the lead. After the Mariners get the lead, the Rays go ground out, line out, ground out, pop out, fly out, walk, line out. Mariners add on 3 more. Line out, strike out, single, caught stealing. Mariners add on another run. Walk, strikeout, fly out. Mariners put on more pressure, and then Junior finally hit the home run. The Rays had 1 hit in the next almost 4.5 innings after the Mariners scored. Not good enough. I mean, the Rays get 2 outs quicker than any team in baseball right now. And it goes back to not having guys you really fear. Like you said, Yandy, Brandon Lowe Jr. You're really starting to miss Aranda right now, and rightfully so. He's an all-star. He hits over 320. He's that guy. But you can't play Tristan Gray and Tristan Peters together. Like, I get the why you did it because Taylor Walls is hurt, but both those guys aren't major league hitters in my opinion. And what happens if Taylor Walls has to go on the injury list? It's really not good. The Rays aren't going to bring up Carson Williams because they don't want to start his service time already. He wouldn't come up to like September. So, it just continues to be a struggle for the Rays right now to find guys that can, consistently take competitive major league at bats. And, that's tough. But, let's look at some of the positives. There's going to be a lot of negativity out there, but let's look at some of the positives. I think Brandon Lowe having the best season of his career is an incredible positive for the Rays. He has been fantastic. Obviously, what Junior's doing has been the biggest story of the entire season. 32 home runs, over 80 RBIs. I mean, that guy, I would extend him right now. He proves he has the work ethic. Like, that's a franchise cornerstone piece. What Jonathan Ronda's been doing, obviously a positive. Drew Rasmussen has been doing, obviously a positive. What Garrett Clevenger / what Edwin you said has done in the second half, positive. This Rays team is so much better than the record, but they fell on hard times and they lost a lot of winnable games, and that's how we get here. That's how we get the 5.5 out of a playoff spot with 43 games left or whatever it is, 44 games. And with that being said, the Rays go after the game tomorrow, which we're about to preview. They go to Oakland for 3, obviously 3 winnable games. To San Francisco for 3 winnable games. I mean, that's probably an area where you at least have to go 4-2, probably 5-1. You go to New York and St. Louis for 5 at home, winnable games. To Cleveland, to Washington, winnable games. Cleveland's the hottest team in baseball right now, but still winnable games. You come home and play Seattle and Cleveland again. The Rays probably after this game tomorrow have their easiest stretch of the season. So if they want to go on this stretch, they want to make things competitive, now's the time to do it. Still a lot of time left. Again, they're going to have to win 8 out of 10, right? Get on a run like that. And now's the time coming up to do that. But, let's look ahead to the game tomorrow. Adrian Hauser will take the mound against Brian Wu. Brian Wu, obviously an all-star this year, 9-6 with a 3 ERA. Really good fastball for Wu. He's been kind of consistently good. I mean, he had a 2.8 ERA last year. He's always been good. With the way the Rays struggle today against not a good pitcher. Okay, that's mean. Against a below average pitcher, considering the Mariners standards with how good their rotation is. It's a little frustrating. He pitched against the Rays one time last year, only went 3 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned. In that game last year, actually, the Rays ended up winning because Yandy Diaz hit a go-ahead single in the 8th inning. I remember that game, actually. But that's besides the point. His last outing against the White Sox, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned. It's been a lot of that this year. But, before that, he has shown chinks in the armor. 5 earned runs against the Athletics, 5 runs against Houston the game after the All-Star break. So he has shown some of the chinks in his armor. But for the most part, he has been really freaking good. And Adrian Hauser has faced the Mariners already this season. It was one of his first starts of the season, and he was fantastic against them. He was his first start. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs. So we need that kind of Adrian Hauser to salvage the series tomorrow and then go into a very winnable series with Oakland. Simple as that. Let's win a game tomorrow, go into a winnable series with Oakland, take at least 2 out of 3. Then all of a sudden you've won 3 of 4. And then again, take another 2 out of 3. All of a sudden you've won 5 of 7. And you can start to really go on a run. But let's go look at the comments as we go to Gary. Says, hate to say it, but I don't think the Rays are going to the postseason. Given the amount of the schedule remaining, games back in the wildcard standings, the number of teams ahead of them. That is a fair observation. Yeah, to say the least. Mike says, Rays pitching gave up 8 walks for them, the number 9 hitter. This is something that's one of the first things that I touched on. It's brutal, unacceptable. Really unacceptable. As we go to Gary, Evan Shapiro is someone I think will be up for the A series because the Rays face 2 lefties, so I think Pierre does come up. He said he's been really good and he plays all 3 outfield positions. Rays just trade Cabby for him. Yeah, I think he's the guy that comes up for the A series because they're not going to keep Peters up when he's an average defender and can't hit lefties. As we go to Jack Stakes, he says it's time to fully understand what this team has been paid for. Essentially a very good minor league club with a couple of past their prime all-stars. I don't necessarily agree with that. An above average minor league club is not what this team is. Let's relax a little bit, but we're allowed to be angry, but that's a little bit too far. The Rays have still a lot of really good pieces. Again, it just starts with It starts with a win tomorrow. Simple as that. I'm trying to kind of build ways for the Rays to go on this run, right? And it starts with a win tomorrow, and then taking 2 out of 3, winning the last 2 series, and then you finish this homestand or this road trip with a winning record, and then you come home and you have 2 against the Yankees, who are the team you're chasing in the wild card. Let's say you get back home and you're only 4 out from the Yankees, right? And then now you're back within striking distance, right? That's only gaining a game and a half, maybe 3.5. 2 games on the Yankees during the stretch, but that requires the Rays to play good baseball. We haven't seen the Rays play good baseball consistently in 2 months, so it's gonna be interesting to see if the Rays can put together some, put together some competitive games here. And it's really, if the Rays can just win 3 out of 4, if the Rays can win 5 out of 6, if the Rays can win 8 out of 10, I'm telling you guys, and anything can happen. But again, I don't blame you guys for being frustrated. I'm frustrated. I just don't know if the Rays have the capabilities right now to go on a run like that. They have the pieces, they have the players, they have the pitching, they have the manager to do it. But it's tough to pick yourself up every day, go back to the ball field when you're losing consistently like the Rays are, in not this game in gut-wrenching fashion, but in so many gut-wrenching ways that it's almost got to be. Hopefully, this is the Rays mindset that look, we can go on a run. Look at the schedule, like I just laid out. It's advantageous. It is advantageous. So it is, again, it's tough to be positive in this, but it's taking a little bit of time. Let's win a game tomorrow. Let's go take 2 out of 3 in Oakland. Let's take 2 out of 3 in San Francisco. Get back home. You get big 2 games with the Yankees, and then kind of just go from there. So a lot of time this season, I've been trying to lay out this path for the Rays. Most of the time, they have not followed it too well. Not to their lack of effort, but to the other teams, playing good ball. So, the Rays are due for some good fortune, and I think that big fortune could be coming soon. But again, it starts with taking the last game of the series for a team that I think is the best team in the American League when it all is said and done. I would pick the Mariners to go to the World Series right now, and I probably will. I probably will by the end of it. As we go to Argenis, I love this comment, and we'll end on it. He says, "Good or bad, always watching and supporting this team." So am I, man. It's a blessing. You guys will miss baseball season when it's done, to watch your favorite team every day. In football, you have once a week. In hockey, you have 3 times a week, 4 times a week, maybe. Same with basketball. Baseball is the season where you can watch your team every single day. And beautiful thing about baseball, Rays have a chance to get back on track tomorrow. Simple as that. Let's see if they can do it against one of the best pitchers in the American League. Going to be a tall task. But again, I appreciate all you guys joining. If you guys could please leave a like on your way out. Subscribe if you are new. 80% of the people watching, I look at this today, are not subscribed. So again, please subscribe. It's free, costs nothing. It just helps us out a lot. So again, hit the like button before you head out of here, and we will see you guys tomorrow afternoon.